I'm Kara. I'm a technician at Dove Lewis. This is Penny, and we're going to demonstrate some helpful tips on how to administer oral medications to your dog at home. Some dogs are easier to pill than others, so we're going to offer a wide variety of helpful hints to help you get your pet medicated. The first thing that we like to do is try to offer it in food. And that's going to be the easiest way for both pet and owner to receive these medications. So we have a variety of things here that we can offer Penny to see if she'll take some meds. First are these pill pockets. We use these a lot in hospital. These are actually designed to hide pills. They come in two varieties, one for Caplets and one for actual tablets. So depending on the size of the pill, they have different varieties. They also come in a wide variety of flavors, so you usually can find something that your dog will enjoy. They smell super stinky. Dogs tend to really love them. We have the peanut butter ones today. So these, you'll see, he's very excited in them, actually have a hole in the center. So that's where we're going to be placing the pill. So today we just have empty gel tabs to simulate a medication. So when you're medicating your dog, it's really also important to know if you can break the pill or not. We get that question very often. So typically with capsules like this, you shouldn't be opening them. Usually what's in them tastes pretty bitter, and it's going to be counterproductive for you to try to mix it into something. If you have a tablet, you should be consulting your doctor on whether or not you can break those. Some of them have special coatings that are time released or actually protect the medication, so not all of the pills can be split. So you should know if you can split them or not, if that'll help you medicate your animal. But these are just fake little gel caplets. They fit right into the center. And it is important that you cover the whole pill. So one of the mistakes that I see owners make is they leave the pill visible. That also means that the dog can smell it. So if they smell it right away when they go to eat it, oftentimes they'll realize something's in it, they're not gonna take it. So we really wanna coat that pill completely all the way around. These are soft, so they're really moldable and pliable. And you can actually, if the pill is really large, take half of another one, put it on there, fit it to your needs. What you want to do is make it as small as possible for the dog to eat. If the treat is really large, oftentimes they'll chew down on it and they'll find the pill inside or it'll fall out. So you want to make it as small as you possibly can to fit that medication in. That way they can get it in as few chews, as few bites as possible. So obviously Penny is very ready for this. She is a chewer, so she will probably try to chew that up a little bit. Some animals just swallow them whole, which is more helpful to you. She's gonna break it apart. Gel tab came out, right? So maybe not the best option for her. This is actually a great segue into other options that we have. So obviously my dog is a chewer, so these aren't gonna work for me. Let's find a different option. So now we can move on to other food options. So I have baby food and wet dog food here. You can also use other human food options that are safe for dogs. So a lot of times we find success with peanut butter. So a small amount of peanut butter, you can really wrap that pill in it. It's really hard for them to separate the peanut butter from the pill because it's so sticky. So owners seem to have a lot of success with that. We've also had success with pieces of hot dog. You can put the pill inside. You also have pieces of cubed cheese that you can fit something in. We've had owners cut up a strawberry and fit the pill inside. So basically anything that your dog finds desirable that you can squish a pill in. Boiled baked chicken breast, something really, really desirable that they want. Oftentimes if you offer it to them in their normal food that they're used to, it's not as enticing. So if you're really having trouble, you might have to think outside the box and offer a novel food item for them to try. And they get really excited about it and won't even notice that there's a pill inside. So we're gonna try the wet food option for her. I think the baby food's a little liquidy, so we don't have a bowl right now to offer it, but not yet. So when you're offering it in food, especially if your dog already eats wet food, you want to offer it in a small enough amount to where you can ensure that the pill is gone. Another common mistake that we see is they'll put the pill in an entire bowl of food, and then the dog only eats half the bowl and leaves the pill. Especially if it's a powder medication or a liquid medication that you're trying to get into your dog, you really want to use the smallest amount to ensure they eat it all, and then you can offer them the rest of their diet. Not the lid, Penny. So that's what we're gonna do with Penny. And this is puppy food. So this is really stinky, really wet, really fragrant. We're gonna squeeze it into a little meatball. Try that option. That worked much better. So again, because it's so wet, it's so sticky, it's really hard for her to separate that out. She didn't want to chew it and break it up, and that was a good method to get that pill in her. So we're gonna take these gloves off. Now, if this option hadn't have worked, you've got a couple more options for you. And one is a pill popper gun. You see these really often when you're pilling cats, but they can also be effective when you're trying to pill a dog. I find them much more effective in smaller breed dogs. It's not to say that you can't use it on a larger breed. These are also really effective for dogs that you don't feel safe handling their mouth as much. So if you have a dog that may be a little nippy, this is gonna keep your fingers out of their mouth and will be easy. So the way this works is it has two components. So it has your plunger that fits into the main piece, and you're going to push it and it will propel the pill out. So you'll have a spot where you can fit your tablet or your capsule, and it fits into the end. Another helpful hint is when you load your pill, keep this upright. There's been a lot of times where I've just not paid attention, the pill falls right out. I go to pill the dog and realize it's on the counter. So make sure you keep it upright. I like to do a few tests. These can get pretty sticky once they've been used quite a bit. So it should pop right out. And so how you'll want to do this, once you've tested it, Penny, are you ready? So we're going to go from the side, and I like to kind of condition the dog first to get her used to me being around her mouth. So this is not invasive to her. I'm not doing anything that's hurting her, that she's uncomfortable with. If she'll let me kind of touch her lips, and it should be one really quick motion. So from the side, you're open, shove it as far back as you can, and shove back. So the trick is to get it as far back as you can. If you just shoot it into the middle part of her mouth, she's gonna do what she just did and try to lick and get it out. So you really wanna make sure that you're really far back. You also wanna make sure that they swallow it. So another trick that you can do, she's very focused on the food, is once you pill the dog, is to kind of hold their lips shut and go and blow into their nose. That blowing actually triggers them to swallow, so you want to watch that swallowing to make sure that she's got it. And then some dogs are ultra sneaky, so you just want to kind of wait and watch them for a second and make sure that it doesn't fall out of the side of their mouth, that they haven't been holding it in there, and make sure that it actually stays in. If that doesn't work, or you don't feel comfortable with the pill gun, there is an option to manually pill your dog. Now this one we want to stress extreme caution with. So this is going to be the most invasive one for your dog. This is also going to be the one that's going to have the most risk factor to you. So some dogs are very tolerant. Penny is, and I know this about her. I know her very well. I know what she'll allow me to do with her mouth. There are other dogs where I would absolutely never attempt this. If they're at all flinchy or weird acting about you being around their mouth, this is not a viable option for you. This is a really good way to get nipped at. But if your dog is pretty tolerant, you think you can do it, there is a way to manually pill, but again, you're gonna have to stick your hand pretty far into their mouth. So again, I'm gonna get her used to me being near her face. Now this method is a little bit different. With the pill gun, I went from the side to get her to open her mouth. I don't wanna do that now because my fingers are gonna be right in her mouth. What you wanna do is actually go from the front. So we're gonna go from the front all the way back. Encourage them to swallow. There you go. So again, you saw that my hand was very far in her mouth. So I do want to stress again, only do this with a dog that you feel very comfortable with. If at all you feel like this is not possible, don't attempt this. Keep trying with your food items. Try again with your pill gun. But again, I know that she would allow me to do that. So hopefully with these tips and tricks, you'll be a little more successful at home. Medicating, I know it can be a challenge, but this is hopefully helpful. These are some tips on how to pill your dog from Dove, Lewis, and Penny.